do you think the Nifty is going to be? And, we were just talking about not just earnings getting kick-started with TCS on Thursday, but, we'll also have so much happening within the IPO markets. Do you think we're looking at a very range-bound week ahead once again?
Hi, good morning. So definitely, from a broader market perspective, it looks like the broader indices, whether it's Nifty or Bank Nifty, looks to be range bound. There's going to be stock specific action, and I think markets are also trying to see what kind of numbers in this quarters are being posted, and basis this, I think a lot of action is being taken. So, for example, a lot of consumption theme, numbers have already come in, and where we have seen a smaller company like V2 Retail has posted almost 82% kind of growth rate, and if you look at the same-store sales growth of this company versus other players, it's significantly better. So I think those kind of stock-specific, comparison will start happening, and within that space, whatever is looking best, we'll see a lot of money will start chasing those kind of stocks, and there will be kind of shift which will happen within the sector also. So I think it's going to be very, very stock-specific market rather than a broader market rally. From a Nifty's perspective, it looks like we are going to remain in a range between 24,500 on downside to 25,500 on upside. Until the time we don't see a clear crossover above this resistance zone of 25,500, it looks like it's going to be a range bound market.
Right, Amish, coming back to we have flashes.
That's where the big fillip could be. Ashish, while we await the numbers to settle down, within the private banking names and NBFC quarterly updates, anything that stood out for you and anything where you are anticipating a meaningful reaction?
So definitely, Aisha, I think, post the profit booking or the selling pressure which we have witnessed in ICICI Bank, there could be a lot of buying interest which will emerge in the space. The reason is, if you look at the overall credit growth momentum for ICICI, it looks encouraging. And I think from a NIM's perspective also, in an environment where other banks are facing a lot of NIM compression, and ICICI has witnessed that also very well. So I think keeping this in mind and the credit quality or the slippage ratios, it looks like the ICICI Bank is very well positioned, and any dip towards 1300, 1320 would be a very good opportunity to get into ICICI Bank from a medium to long term perspective. And if you look at the overall valuation of private banks, it's trading around 2.1 time price to book on a forward basis. So that makes ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank very interesting at current juncture. Apart from that, I think even PSU banks looks very promising, and to play this entire PSU banks, we are positioned in PSU Bank B's ETF, because that's a play to ride entire PSU banks, whether it's SBI, Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank, or Union Bank. So all put together, this PSU Bank B's ETF looks very promising, and I think the possibility of this ETF generating almost 18 to 20% kind of return this year looks very, very promising. Because if you look at SBI itself is trading at one time price to book X of its subsidiaries valuation, and I think with a lot of these subsidies also coming for IPO and for listing, so I think a lot of value unlocking will start happening for State Bank of India, which has almost 35% weight in this PSU Bank VCTF as well.
And Ashish, if I can understand from you how you're playing the consumption
that it should be traded.
So as I mentioned, Aisha, within the banks, we like ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank put together, and I think in the large cap, PSU Bank, State Bank looks very, very promising, where we have seen very strong credit growth momentum for SBI. So keeping this in mind, because of the heavyweights, showing very good strength and valuation comfort, it looks like Bank Nifty is poised towards 57,500 to 58,000 kind of trajectory, and obviously, from a pure technical perspective also, if you look at Bank Nifty has managed to sustain about its 200-day moving average, and in the shorter term, trying to cross about 20 and 50-day moving average. So all put together, momentum indicators plus the kind of valuation comfort which we are getting from large cap private banks and the largest PSU bank, it looks like Bank Nifty is poised for a move towards 58,000 kind of trajectory on a medium term basis.
So that's the take coming in on where the benchmarks are headed today. But Kunal, coming to you now, time for some mid-cap bets coming from you. What's looking good in that basket?
So I'll discuss with what I mentioned on Friday, Kalyan Jewellers. The stock looking very attractive, and there was a breakout on the moving average front for the stock on the hourly chart, specifically with the stock gaining momentum back from the 470, 475 levels to, I think, 490 thereabouts, where the stock closed on Friday. So would look out for further targets, revising it higher to 525 for the stock over the near term. Stop loss could be trailed higher to 475.
Okay, so that's the mid-cap idea. Ashish, what's your take on metals? Because, and completely shifting focus from everything we've spoken about, what's the take on metals? Because it's been one of the big movers in recent times.
So definitely because of the falling, dollar index and the kind of strength we are seeing a lot of, metal space on the LME side, we believe that the trend is going to continue very well for a lot of these metal companies. But in particular, we like stock like Lloyds Metals, which has, all it's a mid-cap company, but I think because of the kind of mining assets which this company has, and the strong iron ore prices and eventually turning it into steel, the spread is also very strong. So keeping this in mind, Lloyds Metals would be a biggest beneficiary, and with the recent environment clearance which this company has got, the capacity is going to double from where they were. So ultimately, the earning growth and the EBITDA margins are going to improve. So keeping this in mind, the stock is poised for a move towards 1650 to 1700 kind of trajectory. Purely on a technical perspective, stock is a very, very strong support around 1150, 1180 kind of zone. So keeping this in mind, I think Lloyds Metals looks very well positioned for a rally towards 1650 to 1700 zone.
Sure. Okay, Ashish, great to have you on the show. We'll let you go on that note. Thanks for your time.